going on, smart family? I'm here again, back for you guys, and today we're doing a math vid. And you guys already know it's a math video, and it's been a while since we did a math video last. It's been like a while, it's like 4 or 5 months. So you know what? I'm gonna show you guys one today. And we're going to continue that negative number part, but this time today I want to show you guys how to add and subtract negative numbers. So without any further ado, let's just get right into it. So to understand how to add and subtract negative numbers, we need to understand how to add and subtract positive numbers a little bit before we get into it. So I'm just going to see 2 plus 2 in this, guys. So 2 plus 2, as we have here, is just a simple addition problem equals 4, right? That's super easy. And as you guys already know, when you subtract, let's take the same problem, 2 minus 2, you get 0. Simple? I thought that's simple for you guys. Anyway, so since we have here 2 minus 2, that's a simple positive number adding and subtracting. And now, as we get to negative numbers, you guys might see problems like this. Now, you guys have no idea how to solve that problem, do you? Well, let's look at a number line for now. So if we take a number line, let's take a number line like this, I guess. Oh wow, that was not good. Let's take negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. So let's take a positive and a negative number. So let's take 2 plus negative 2. Now, if we add negative 2, what do you guys think we will do? Because literally, so if we add 1, then we go to 3. If we add if we add 2, we go to 4. If we add 1, we go to 3. If we add 0, we go to here. But what if we add negative 1? Well, then if we add negative 1, if we continue the pattern like this, it should technically be going back. And the negative 2 should be going even more back. Is this pattern suspicious to you guys? Apparently to me, it's not. That's because this pattern is what's showing us how to do this. So that looks like more like subtracting to you guys, right? But we're actually adding today. So what does that mean? Well guys, hold on. Let me just turn the lights really quick for you guys. As the lights go. Okay. So you guys saw the brightness anyway. So as I go back here, this looks like we're actually like subtracting. Which is exactly what's happening. So 2 plus negative 2 is equivalent to 2 minus 2. But what does that mean then? Like, how is, like, this, what would happen if we subtracted 2 minus? So you guys see the pattern here anyway? Anyway, we're getting into, like, some little stuff. Okay? I'm gonna draw another one anyway, it doesn't matter. This is gonna be a very bigger one. What if we have the numbers, let's say 0? No, let's not have 0 here. Let's have negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, no, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have to subtract negative numbers. Let's say, it's 2 example again. 2 minus 2. And the reason I have this in parentheses to show that that's a negative number and not just a typo. So this is show that this is a negative number and we're subtracting it. Well, if we take subtraction level first, as we saw, this is when you subtract, right? So this is 2 minus 1, 2 minus 2, 2 minus 3, right? Or this is like 2 minus 3, 2 minus 2, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 0, it's the same thing. But then, to actually subtract negative numbers, we continue this pattern going like this. As we subtract with less and less numbers, because you guys have seen that in my previous video that negative numbers are less than 0. So you continue this pattern going less and less. Negative 1 should be like this. Negative 2 should be like 4 or something. That's the same pattern as addition. And that is absolutely right. So basically what we're getting at here is 2 minus negative 2 is actually 2 plus 2. Which is totally true actually, because it's the same thing. And that's the point I'm getting at here. Basically when you have negative numbers, it's basically kind of like the opposite. Because when we're adding, we're kind of subtracting. But when we're subtracting, we're kind of adding, which is kind of confusing. Let's look at one simple rule in math. So, when you're adding a negative number like that, the answer is always going to be negative. To check your answer. If you're adding a positive number, you guys already know it's a positive number. But when you're, well, this is where it kind of gets interesting. When you're subtracting this negative number, it actually means positive. And another way to think of that is 2 lines make a plus. And you guys already saw how does that work. So now let's take a little bit of a bigger problem to show you guys this, all of these. Let's take, for example, negative 2 maybe minus 2. Now it's kind of like, well, what is that? But as I guys told you, when you have 2 negatives, you get a positive. So that's a positive. So you actually add 2 plus 2, which equals 4. And then the sign is always going to be the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. The answer of this is negative 4. So do you guys understand here? And as I said, negative number is always going to be positive. That is not always true. Like, yeah, it depends on if you're adding a positive minus a negative. But when you have a negative minus a negative, it kind of changes. So anyway, so when you have negative minus a negative, basically what you do is whatever these two signs are between them, you mix them up so like, as I told you before, and what you do that operation, so if it's a positive or negative, you subtract. If it's a positive and a positive, you add. If it's a negative and a negative, you also add. So in this we have a negative and a negative, we add. And the sign for the final answer depends always on the bigger number, because these are equal. Let's take another number. This time we're going to take a positive and a negative number. And a negative and a negative number to show you guys. Let's take the number negative 5 plus 3. Okay, so we have to subtract these two, because this is subtraction. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. But the sign is always the bigger number, so negative. So the answer is negative 2. So do you guys see the point here? So that's how you guys kind of do it. And so if you continue like that, if you have a negative number like 5, if you take negative 5 minus 3, you actually add these two. So 5 plus 3 equals 8, and then the sign of the bigger number is negative 3, so it's still negative. So you guys, I feel like might be getting the point here. That's how it really just works. If you guys actually look at the pattern, if you have negative 5 plus 3, we're going this way. So negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. So we are this way, but like if you have negative 5, then negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, then you get negative 8. You're going backwards. So basically when you're subtracting by a negative number, you're going backwards because you're subtracting, making that number a bigger in a positive way, but with a negative sign makes it smaller actually. And that is kind of how it works for you guys. Like that's how it really works. It's a little confusing because like negative number line is like getting smaller as you go this, but the numbers look bigger, like negative 4, negative 3. Like this looks bigger, but it's going this way. Like any number line, so this is actually getting smaller. So negative 4 is actually smaller than negative 3, unlike this. So like you've already been teaching. So this is how it really just works. Like a negative number. So just to have a little bit of review, a negative and a negative number means that you have to add the two numbers, and the sign is always of the bigger number. of the bigger number in positive. Bigger in positive form. So, I just told you in positive form. That's because if you have like another example from plus 3, that's what we said. You always have the bigger number in positive form because negative 5 is smaller than 3, but still, you're going to take the positive number, both of them, no matter what their sign is, and whichever of them is bigger in the positive way. Not counting the negative signs or the positive signs. That's how it is. That's why it's between bigger than 2 instead of positive 2 because 3 is bigger than negative 5 and its sign is positive. We take the positive form, then we do it. That's kind of really, it's confusing, but as we always say, as everyone says, practice is improvement. So you guys just have to practice a bit and you guys will get it. And yeah, bigger positive. It's always bigger positive. You don't need to write that. So positive, and if you have positive or minus, you subtract, and it's always the bigger number in positive form. And if we have add and add, you just add. And the answer is always going to be positive. Let's be honest, we already know the answer is going to be positive. Here, the answer is always going to be negative. Here, the answer is going to be positive. It doesn't really begin with a bigger number here because it's the same. But here, it can be anything. So the bigger positive for this is bigger positive. So just remember this kind of, and you guys will understand this eventually. So, and just keep on practicing. That's my philosophy for this. And when you guys are done with this, come back and just keep on practicing. This was Smart Family. This was Parth for you. And Smart Family, have a good day today. And I'll see you guys next time.